Hey everybody, Gage here from Sharp. Thank you so much for tuning in. It's a pleasure to have you with me as always. So we're near to the end of January here, and while most of you who picked up your first ever nice Japanese knife over the holiday season have had a chance to enjoy your new toy immensely, some of you are also maybe experiencing some rust, some chipping, maybe the tip broke off of your knife. Whatever the case may be, Japanese knives require extra maintenance and extra care when using them, and some of you may be experiencing some issues in this area. So I've seen a couple knives come into my shop so far this new year with damage that were picked up over the Christmas break. So I thought it'd be a good idea for me to make a video about some of the things you should not do with your Japanese knife to avoid damage. So without further ado, let's get into the top 5 things I would encourage you not to do with your Japanese knife to avoid damaging it. Okay, so the first thing we're going to talk about today is a bit of a double negative here, but it is to say do not wipe your knife after using it, or more simply put, wipe your knife after you use it. If you happen to have picked up a carbon steel blade, you should also have been made aware of the possibility of rust or discoloration. This can happen especially quickly when working with acidic ingredients like tomatoes, onions, or citrus, and though it can be easily removed if it does occur, it can also be easily avoided by simply wiping our knife down after use. Now, this isn't to say that you need to wipe your knife in between every single onion that you chop, but it is to say that once you finish chopping all of your onions, before your knife goes down on the board, it needs to be wiped clear of any acidity to avoid rust or discoloration. Starting out in professional kitchens, I was taught always to have a damp towel folded neatly next to my station in order to keep my board clean and clear, to wipe my knife down, and to keep my station generally neat and tidy. Whether you're a home cook or a professional, I would encourage you to do the same. Okay, so the second thing we're going to talk about, and fourth on our list of 5 things not to do with your Japanese knife, is to put it in the dishwasher. This is true not only for Japanese knives, but for any knife in general, as the dishwasher is a seriously bad place for a knife due to the high heat and the abrasive chemicals used in the detergent, as they will definitely cause serious damage to your blade. Rust can form if you leave your knife in the dishwasher after the cycle in order for it to dry, and the high heat of the water will cause your natural wooden handle to most certainly crack and or fall off. Additionally, things can shift and move around in the dishwasher during the cycle, and this can lead to cracking or chipping or scratching to your blade. So general rule is to wash your knife by hand and dry it immediately, storing it in a dry place. I would also avoid drying mats, as they can trap moisture, and leaving your knife in contact with one overnight will most certainly cause it to rust. So number 3 on our list of 5 things not to do with your Japanese knife is to not twist, pry, scrape, or torque your knife on the board or in an ingredient. Your knife is meant to go straight forward and backwards, straight up and down. It is not meant to make any horizontal or lateral movements across your board or any other ingredient for that matter. One of the things that makes your knife so special is how thin it is behind the edge. This edge geometry is what allows your knife to move effortlessly and with little to no resistance through ingredients. This thinness behind the edge, however, also leads to a susceptibility to chipping and or cracking. If you want to scrape using your knife, simply flip it over and use the spine to do so. Another habit that commonly leads to damage is when using this rocking motion, torquing or grinding your knife on the board. If you hear this noise, stop what you're doing, change your method, as you will most certainly cause damage to your knife eventually. Okay, the fourth thing we're going to talk about, and number 2 on our list of 5 things not to do with your Japanese knife, is to not use it in an aggressive or otherwise abusive manner. One of the things that makes your Japanese knife so special, as previously mentioned, is how thin it is behind the edge, contributing to that amazing cutting feel. But this thinness behind the edge also makes your knife a little bit more delicate in general than your average European-style chef's knife. Exercise caution and care when you're working with your Japanese knife and when you're storing it, and it will last a lifetime. Use it in an aggressive or otherwise abusive fashion, and it will become chipped, rusted, or otherwise damaged, most certainly. Make sure you have a good way to store it. Don't go dropping it on the floor. And another good habit to get into is keeping a beater knife on hand, that old crappy knife you don't care too much about. You can give that to your friends and family when they come over to help you cook, and you can use it when you're working through more aggressive tasks, for instance, cutting a lobster in half. Okay, so the 5th thing we're going to talk about today, and number 1 on the list of 5 things not to do with your Japanese knife, is to not cut certain ingredients. General rule of thumb is that if you wouldn't chew it with your teeth, you shouldn't cut it with your knife. So some examples right off the top of my head of things you should not cut are, but are not limited to, frozen foods, bones and shells, nuts and hard candies, seeds and stems, and even cheeses with hard rinds on them like Parmesan should be avoided as well. If you can think of anything else that I missed that you should not cut with your Japanese knife, please leave a comment down below and help someone avoid causing damage to their knife today. If you stick to proteins, fruits, and vegetables, you should have no issues whatsoever with any chipping or damage to your blade. Well, that's it for me, folks. I hope this video helps you avoid any damage to your new knife and allows you to enjoy your new toy for years and years to come. I didn't say any of this to scare you away from picking up a Japanese knife, as they will absolutely change your life in the kitchen for the better and make your life in the kitchen much more enjoyable. But I just want to make sure that you are aware of the extra maintenance requirements should you decide to pick one up. If you liked this video and found it helpful, make sure you smash that like button and subscribe to our channel for more knife-related content. And until the next video, thanks for watching. Stay sharp.